Hello, my name is David, and this is going to be a project tour of my new song, One Look, from my debut EP, Chica. I hope you enjoy. We're going to start with the music video and final version of the song, then we're going to jump all the way back to how it sounded when I first composed the song in LMMS. So let's get into it. Baby, just one look. Tell me if it changes, or tell me if it changes when you look. For this video, we're actually going to look at LMMS. I've been referring to this program a lot in the others, but I haven't actually shown any of the projects because I just don't really like using this software compared to Ableton. My main beef with LMMS is the way that it handles automation. If you introduce any automation in your project, but then you want to change the order of things or change the duration of things, you just have to redo your work. There's no way around it that I could see, which means it's the smartest workflow wise to save your automation for the very end, which is not super fun if you like using automation as part of your composition process, or you want, to create dynamics in certain ways. I just found it really frustrating. So this is what One Look sounded like on my first pass. Yeah, so early on I had a really slappy snare, which is nice. And then I got rid of it because I wanted a drier kind of Wolfpack sound when I was working on it in the early stages. And then we brought back the kind of slappy 80s sound with my mixer, who did an awesome job. I purposely have placed my key strikes not right on the beat because I wanted them to feel more human. I actually can't play keyboard. I barely know music theory. So if I want stuff to feel organic, it's usually humanized in some way, either manually or I use a kind of humanizing thing in Ableton. So our dinky little piano is illustrating what I would be singing. So corny. Great. We add our little triplet bell, this bit. So pretty. But that's just a lot of reverb. We're not actually hearing the multiple rhythms happening at once. We also found a different instrument for the bridge, which I think is nice. It's very spacey, almost cinematic. Yeah, honestly, pretty simple song. I'm really happy with it. I think it has a great mood, but there's really not that much to talk about. I found the chords, I found the song structure, I put all the little pieces together, and then everything after that was refining and mixing and just making everything cohesive. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go to Ableton. Oh my God, I don't even know how to describe this. I don't think I should have a compressor sidechain to the kick on my main mix, because I'm pretty sure that makes the kick compress itself. So I don't know, I think it's just bad. I mentioned before adding delay to the bells, so this is what that sounds like. So even though the arpeggios are very simple, by adding just a little bit of delay, it adds a lot more rhythmic interest, I feel. And then played all together, I think it complements the chord progression really well. I would honestly even mix it a little bit louder. I don't have a lot of low end in these headphones or in my table speakers, which is useful while I'm arranging for the most part, but while I'm mixing can be quite challenging because if I can't hear bass, I will overcompensate in my mix. Even if I'm looking at a kind of EQ monitor, if the monitor might be telling me that there's bass present in what I'm listening to, but if I can't trust my ears, kind of thing. I will then often use another pair of headphones that have slightly more maxed bass to see if it sounds more normal there. And hopefully I just do that testing all at my desk instead of testing in a car or testing on headphones on a walk, because once I leave my workstation, I think that's when I should really stop working on the mix. Like, yeah, it can just make me a little bit crazy. I'm doing something that I'm trying to avoid now because it just feels sloppy. The illegal move that I'm doing here is putting a limiter on my main track and just dragging the maximizer down to increase the gain of my overall session. And the reason that's illegal, I want to say, is because I'm fighting myself. I have room in my mixers here, my faders, to just bring the gain up in a more sensible way rather than keeping everything quiet here and then bringing it up later. I think technically speaking, I am losing just a little bit of resolution by working that way. I think if somebody really technical with Ableton can confirm or deny that, that would be awesome. It's also doing something weird where any track effect, it's like limiting my dynamic range. So I have a track effect, I am pretty sure it's this saturator on one of my echo sends. It just keeps things going. That tiny little bit of flickering is a pretty small signal, but it's going to my main track, and then that limiter is grabbing it and making it louder, and it's just persisting no matter what. There's just this like teeny little thing. I don't know the math of how to identify the noise floor that I'm adding, but I have added a noise floor in one of my tracks. So let's see if we can remove that send. Oh yeah, it's right here. I never knew that. Wow. I mean, maybe that's a useful function, but yeah, I truly was just adding noise in an echo thing. Learn something every day. I believe in these next ones, I tried mixing all my work one more time and really changed the sound. I haven't artificially added. What the fuck, David? God damn it. I have a -2 dB on a utility, but then I have a +2 dB on an EQ, and I also have a decapitator here, which maybe is only changing the tone, but let me hear this. I just want to hear what it's doing. Okay. What's that sound like with decapitator off? Okay. Very harsh. Okay. What's it sound like with the EQ off? Quite loud. So I reduce the low end. Okay, I understand. Why did I do -2 here? Okay. If I had to guess, I did -2 here because I was so close to peaking. And I wanted to make sure that I was getting a clean signal into decapitator. But I wasn't actually peaking. Like, you can look at the waveform, it's not zoomed in. We don't peak anywhere. So I should have just left it alone. It's fine for it to be mono and yeah, not have any gain changed. And then decapitator can change the sound. And then, yes, and then having a +2 dB on my EQ just makes it easier to tell the difference when I A/B it. Okay. So what am I doing with this compressor? I am reducing the amount of reverb that is coming in based on how loud the vocals are at a given moment. I mean, yeah, that sounds crazy cupcakes. So the point there is to not have the reverb cluttering my upper mid-range when the vocals are also happening at the same time. But as soon as the vocals stop, the reverb then kind of like blossoms right after. It's not the same effect as a delay. We just want to hear that sound of the room ringing out. And if we want it really extreme, we just drag that handle all the way up. Baby, just one look. Tell me if it changes, or tell me if it changes when you... Is that totally right for the song? I don't know. Even though this mix is not technically perfect, there's just like a bunch of craziness going on within this file. I just kind of liked the sound. So this is what I wanted to output as my master. Let me show you the chain that I used when I was making those master setups. I have a dynamic EQ. I have a utility so I can switch to mono easily if I want. I have a limiter to ensure that I'm hitting the ceiling, and I have an EQ just to have a visual of what frequencies I'm actually listening to. Let's see what this sounds like. So loud. I'll be honest, this is not a perfect mix, and that's part of the point. You know, would I work a little bit harder if I was trying to make this like the true final version of the sound? Perhaps. But this is what I used to get a demo mix out of Ableton. I hope that is somewhat educational. There are much more experienced engineers that I would recommend you listen to before trying this stuff, but there you go. Thank you so much for watching all of that. I hope it was interesting or educational or even fun. If you didn't like the video, share it with an enemy. Maybe they will have completely different tastes and get a kick out of it. I really appreciate it if you checked out multiple of these project tours, because I'm really proud of this music and I think I want to make more music related content in the future. Beyond that, I hope you take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.